Hello guys, welcome back to Planet Zoo episode 4. We're going far because we got a new location, Monkey Safari. Now you can see Monkey Safari doesn't actually contain any monkeys, contrary to popular belief. It is an all-primate park except for a few exceptions. And here is where my conservation credits just tanked and just went down immediately. When we did the last episode before I built this park, I had around 2,000 conservation credits, and I think now we're down to like 35. So I think I got some good primates for the money I spent, and I hope to release their offspring to the wild and keep some of them here. So something else to note is that I've actually been working on my cinematic camera skills, and you're going to be seeing a lot of it today. You're going to be seeing it in the first part of the video and once we enter Monkey Safari. I don't think we use it afterwards, but I diverted your attention because we're teleporting to Schitt's Creek Zoo again because we have a new project. This is the ADDAX Antelope Center. Our desert habitat is now home to 4 critically endangered ADDAXs rescued from Mali, and here we're actually expecting, because we are having a breeding program to get our conservation credits back, and repopulate the wild too, but conservation credits, money, money, money. I'm Mr. Krabs. I'm gonna get copyrighted for saying that. Yeah, so this is Shazia. She was our first ADDAX before we got a lot of the other ones. We only have one male. His name is Jawad, but there is an issue with him. He is diseased, and he has avian influenza. Okay, that's weird. But we are not the only zoo to get hit by this avian influenza, as Keystone Park on the East Coast has done this with their penguins, and Whispering Woodlands has this with their American flamingos. Hopefully it'll go away, but on a brighter note, welcome to Monkey Safari. Monkey Safari, as I was saying, it's all primates, so when I do this, you're probably not going to see them as much as being active, but you can see how intricate the enclosure designs are and how similar they are to each other. I felt like the wood was just a really nice touch. We can also see here that we're just going to head straight back, because I thought our gorilla was here. They all left, so that kind of sucks on my part, but we're here now. And now that we are here, let's go into explore mode and get down. So we are going to the left right here, or the right, who cares. This is our Hamadryas baboon enclosure. So these guys are a least concerned species from the Middle East and Eastern Africa. And this is an overpass enclosure, so we can watch them go right above our heads. It's almost about as tall as the tallest NPC, so that's pretty neat. So, we got some research on our western lowland gorillas there. You can already see the species that are going to be in here today, but it doesn't really matter. There's another overpass, and we're actually going to go into the enclosure in a second, because right here we're going to see Sumaya, and Sumaya is one of the first baboons we had in here, so she knows her way around the mesh roof. Okay, I got inspired by this from Adam Up, who made a Hamadryas baboon and African spurred tortoise when the Zookeeper's Animal Pack came out. His was a bit more different, but I took the inspiration from the overpass to make an overpass. It's not based off his. I tried to make his exactly. His was circular, and mine ended up being rectangular. But I'm still happy with the overpass. I also learned those logs we placed down had no effect because they can just walk on the mesh anyways, other than just adding to their climbing. We actually have lots of babies in here. We started with 5, now we're at 10. So here we have $2,000 of food, because we got our 10, and we're expecting more, and at the time that I'm voiceovering this, we now have 12. So that's pretty neat. Oh, there's Big Boy right here. There's Karim. Hello, Karim. He is hungry, but this is the one place where the food gets dropped off. So Karim is our male baboon with wonky walking animations. There used to be 2 males in here, but they just fought too much. The Zoopedia says you can have 2 males, but they're gonna fight, so I wouldn't suggest you putting more than 1. So let's talk about this part. This zoo is based in Florida, as I feel like this is the only place this would actually be legal for a non-AZA accredited zoo chain to do this with this many dangerous animals. Primates are dangerous, keep that in mind. Chimpanzees rip people's face off. Anyways, here's the mixed cohabitation habitat of this zoo. Schitt's Creek Zoo, it was camel and ADDAX, and here we have mandrills and Red River hogs, but we'll show you those later. So this is our dominant male. He is just having a nap right here, pretty neat. He is a lot more active, but I guess he's cooling down now, Mandala. These are his 2 kids. They're both twins. I think they're like Akasabi and Akasan, I think. I'm not a big fan of the baby models, but they get the job done. Yeah, Akani. So Akani is going over to Mom, who is staring down Aboyami. Aboyami is one of our Red River hogs. We have 2 males because this species does not have SSP, Species Survival Plan, in our zoo. And so we just have them here as a cohabitation enrichment. Because the Red River hogs, think of African jungle, they cohabit with everything. And it will give you an enrichment bonus too. This is another overpass enclosure, and if you can see by their traversable area, they can actually go on top of it too. They can go under it, inside of it, and on top of it without escaping. So I'm kind of proud of that. Now, let's talk about these faux rock walls. I made these with just the 1 faux rock and some ash trees, and I think it gets the job done. If you want this on the workshop, I already have a few things posted there. I have my palm houses from classical zoos, and I'm working on another zoo as well, so keep that in mind, that I'll put in the workshop. We also have some terrarium enclosures. This is our yellow anacondas. Fun fact about yellow anacondas, they used to be my favorite exhibit animal before the axolotl. I know everyone's like, axolotl, you're such a cringe Minecraft YouTuber. No, axolotls are just chill. And do you know what I learned about axolotls? There's less than 1,000 in the wild, but there's over 1 million just in people's houses. I think we just need to release them back to Mexico. So anyways, before everyone attacks me, look, chimpanzee statues. The next enclosure is obviously chimpanzee. No, it is not. It is bonobos, because I like bonobos better. And screw me, but I am a Kobu stan. So that's a Planet of the Apes reference, but hopefully you guys got that. Originally, it was a big open building, but I didn't like that because it was a square building with some glass in it. And then I changed it to be like all the other enclosures. So we have Panpaniscus, or the bonobo. I actually memorized 8 scientific names, and there goes the box. You have a box issue, Bornani. So Bornani over here is our male bonobo, and he was the first bonobo we bought. And something else to mention, if you see the mesh is terrible, it's because it is, because on Console Edition, I've seen this at Keystone Park too. The mesh is so easily noticeable that there's gaps and cracks in it, because you're putting a square object into triangles. So anyways, let's look at everyone else right now. So there is Mum and daughter. There's Lawana and Barika. Now, Barika, I can't tell if it's cute or disturbing. It's like a human baby who's really hairy and walks on all 4s. I don't know if I'm on board with that, but for conservation, I think we're going to release Bornani. Ooh, there's the climbing structures there. I'm a big climbing structure fan, especially for species like the bonobos that just jump on the climbing frames. It looks really nice. So anyways, we are going to a more old part of the park that is not finished. This is our monarch butterfly thing. It's simple. I didn't really care. I just made it because I had some budget left, and I was trying to raise money at the beginning of the park to get some conservation credits. We have only 10 in here. The population control got rid of the 98.5 other ones. But now we're on the east side of the park, and it is not done. I will show you in another update video like the one we previously just had. Yes, so this restaurant is not complete. I hope to get it complete with an African theme. And this is our gorilla habitat, or our kind of gorilla habitat. You can see here that it is a gorilla habitat. It marks all the boxes. I even did Zoopedia calculations. This enclosure is big enough for at least 6 gorillas, but we only have 1 because I ran out of conservation credits. This is Sifu, or Sefu, or silverback gorilla. He's actually okay with being alone, which is why I bought a silverback instead of a female, because he has a bachelor size. Maybe, I hope to get a troop, but worst case scenario, we just get another male for a bachelor group. And I want that to be the last resort, because I do want some SSP, Species Survival Plan, in this zoo, as it is a conservation primate zoo. We're sending gorillas back to the wild anyways. Eventually the troop is gonna die, and I mean, that's it. So who really knows? As you can see, there is Sifu again, who refuses to get in the light, because YouTube drastically makes these so much lower quality than they need to be. All because I didn't verify that I am not a robot. So, something else to mention is that there is no mesh in here. As you can see, I didn't finish the mesh, and a baby was just born. So, that kind of sucks. Emilio. It sounds like Emilio, but different. Isn't that kind of weird, though? It says born at Monkey Safari, but then when I put it on the market, it's like Monkey Safari, even though it's an anaconda. Yeah, who really cares? So, we can see here, the barrier is kind of busted. It's because this mechanic has steel things. Because he just walks in here unprovoked with the silverback inside. He's the one carrying the 100 humans versus 1 gorilla. Okay, because you can also see here that gorillas aren't just expensive, but rare to find on the market. Because at the time of buying Sefu, there was 4, so I was lucky, and he was the cheapest. But you can see here, Faraj is 400, which is actually pretty cheap for gorilla, but I still can't afford it, because remember, like 35 conservation credits. But yeah, he was like 300, but he actually has like insane stats. Look at that. So I don't want to waste those genetics on one singular gorilla. We need some females. Okay, hold on. I'm going to try a trick to get him to come over here, because he didn't actually have a water source. So we're going to give him, I think the dirty water is the best kind of water in the game, because it's the most realistic. So, yep, walk right over. You can see he's active now. Here is Sefu. He's just having a drink. The camera quality still sucks. I should have done it in the light, but who cares? He's active and we can see him. He's got a big forehead, because he is a Giga Chad. Never thought I'd be saying that on YouTube. Also, his forearms are like massive. This guy is Chad. So, you can see here the bonobos are the most appealing, not Sefu. I guess I could see why, but at the same time I can't. Yep, just hit the soccer ball, football, ball with hexagons, whatever you want to call it. So, you can see here that Sefu is a little different from the other primates, as his climbing structures, he cannot climb the trees with the tires in them. The other primates that have tire trees can actually use the tire trees, and he left us a poop. And so I think that's a good time to end the video. So for now, this is Monkey Safari, and I hope to expand it later. Will Sefu get friends? Will he get friends on this next episode? And we will also, yeah, I'm going to cut the drama there. I didn't show that off, but for now, this is Monkey Safari. Goodbye. I hope to see you guys in the next episode.